are live. We are really leveling up Pristine Caffeine. But first, we have to give a huge shout out to Huntington Shortbreak Resort because one, we'll pick this up. Like I said, Pristine Caffeine just got extra leveled up. But first, there's going to be a little message from them because we are very thankful that they set this all up for us. So check out this message so much, really quick, and then we'll be back to chat and answer all your questions.
First, really quick, we are matching. We didn't even plan it, but when we were rolling out of the apartment, and she was coming down from her apartment on the 4th floor, and I was walking out on the 1st floor.
At 4:30 a.m. this morning.
Second. We were in the same room.
Oops.
Without even trying.
But this is special Pristine Caffeine because we have questions. Thank you to everyone who submitted them. And the actually first question is specifically for me.
Kristen, how can I be taller?
What is your best defense tips for anyone not so tall? You want to answer that? What do you think I would answer?
I think Kristen does a really good job on not focusing on the fact that she is not tall. She is going to emphasize the things that she really can do and what she can't control. So her explosiveness, her first step, her agility, her strength. Again, focusing on things that you can actually change yourself. And just because you do not have a height advantage does not mean that you can't find other ways to gain advantage.
That was very good. My answer would also be to stay patient on defense. Don't think, don't read, just wait, react, and kind of like you're saying, just trust that first step. But yeah, don't cheat. Don't cheat. I hope.
When she says don't cheat, some people call it reading, some people call it moving, and yes, you have to adjust as the play is all working out, but it's not saying, oh, they look like they're gonna hit a high line and run after it already.
Correct. You basically don't want to have a thought in your head initially. However, there are times where we run specific plays where it's like, no, I'm going to run down this high line. But other than that, if there's not a set play, then just wait, react, trust your first step. Next question. What is your lifting routine? Does it change during the off season?
Our lifting routine is quite sporadic when we're on the road because we might be gone we were in Brazil for 18 days or whatever it was. And in between, we didn't have a ton of time, or you can't lift, or there wasn't very many days. So we weren't really lifting all that much when we were on the road, but we usually do get a lift or two in. But when we're at home and we do not have a tournament weekend, we are usually lifting 4 to 5 times. 2 arm days, 2 leg days, generally. But again, we have to be super fluid just because
I also feel like when we're in season, we're pretty much just maintaining. We're not trying to lift the house or anything like that. Whereas off season, we really are like building up. So yeah, that's definitely a big difference, I would say. Next, what do you do on days where you don't feel like? What do you do on days where you don't feel up to putting in the work?
Oh, you look at the other person and you immediately have energy. I think working out with somebody, having a workout buddy, or somebody that you are not necessarily like changing your diet, or you have goals that are very similar, it is so much easier when you have an accountability buddy
I feel like we talk about it all the time.
Oh,
Like, oh my
it's
goodness,
so much
could you
easier.
imagine if we did not have the other person?
No, because there are days that you wake up and you're like, I can't do it, and you find a way. So I think it's as soon as you get that thought in your head, trying to erase it immediately. There are days where you have to you have to listen to your body, and you know when you absolutely
Like
cannot.
the one time when I just laid on the bench.
So yeah,
Took a nap.
Kristen comes to the gym after I told her to stay home. She's like, no, I can do it. So that's when you really do have to listen to yourself. So she laid on the bench, I finished the lift, and then we drove back together.
That was fun. Good time. Last one for this topic. Favorite workout playlist. And it says, can you share the Spotify link if you have one? We are Apple Music people, so we do not have Spotify. But what is your favorite workout playlist? I feel like I don't have one.
No, it's honestly whatever's playing at the gym is my favorite for the day.
I honestly,
I do not like the heavy metal.
I know Drew has said that heavy metal, it's like proven that you actually will lift better. However, I'm speaking for the two of us. We definitely prefer music where we can like sing and we know the words.
Yeah.
And it's not like shaking the entire gym.
Yeah.
That would be what I would say. Or some throwbacks.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing some throwbacks in the gym. I've been jamming. Okay, that was it for that topic.
Next topic is going to be tournament play, Christine.
Oh boy.
When/where did the hand slap start? I love it. How do you pick who slaps who? Whose hand slaps who? Yeah, you know.
I can answer that part. One, we call it the ding. I should probably go back. It started because whenever our ding, can you hold my cup, please? It is decaf coffee, by the way, because it's 4 hours. The ding, it started with like a drum when you make a like funny, or you basically make a funny, you go, ba-nuts, and you get to hit the cymbal. So we turned our hand technically into the cymbal. So
Kristen has an awesome dig. I set her and she paces a beautiful line and scores. She gets to ding. Sometimes
you never will ding.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like, no, you hit it.
So that's when you see both of us sitting like this or standing like this, and
we both are like eyes. Like,
neither one of us wants to give the ding to the other person because the other person had a better play or did more in that play and they deserved it. That's where a little bit of
I don't know when it started. We did it at LSU. So it was that last season at LSU, 2021. And I think it was because I'm so funny that I was just constantly being funny. And I always would. Taryn would not tell me I was funny. So I had to be the one.
I told you plenty of times that you were funny.
But that's where it started, was LSU last season.
We just had to keep it going.
Yeah.
But when we don't play for a long time after that, we do it.
Because we never do it at practice. It just only comes out when we compete.
Next, how do you two mentally prepare for matches? Any tricks or suggestions are appreciated.
Ooh. I feel like we've gotten better at communicating with each other how we're feeling. A lot of times I feel like we would just keep it to ourselves. Like if we were nervous, it's like, no, I can't tell Taryn because she can't know that I'm nervous.
Well, as athletes, you never want to seem weak or like you're not prepared or your teammates shouldn't trust you. So I think that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah. So I would say, one, it's okay to be open with your partner and be like, Taryn, I'm kind of nervous. But you're just putting it out there. It's not like it changes anything on the court, just being real.
It's also, if there's something specific that you're nervous about, like, hey, this team does this, and I don't know how we're going to stop them, talking with your partner and pre-game planning and strategizing. If something doesn't work, then you go to plan B, then you go to plan C. And not playing the game in your head before you actually play the game.
But also having like good, positive self-talk.
Yes.
I think it's okay, like in your head, to be like, I'm really good. Like, you put in the training, go out, perform. Like, trust yourself. It's okay to be confident.
What is your favorite way to mentally reset?
Mine's breathing. Just like a deep breath.
I do 4 in and you hold for 4 and then out for 8. Something that is new for me this year has been fun to play with my silicone ring. It's kind of a nice little reset. If you notice, sometimes I'll just play with it with my thumb, and that kind of just like.
Also at timeouts, just chatting. Or sometimes I take out my sunglasses. What do you do to warm up that ensures your entire body is warm and ready to go, Kristen?
I hate warming up.
Worst part about playing is warming up.
I hate it.
But it's
Especially,
important to do.
I wish we could play every single match in like 100-degree weather, just so I could literally walk on the court and be warm.
Yeah.
She hates warm up. But we started like 3 years ago doing our bands really to kind of basically get like our glutes and hips firing. So you'll see us, we have like a little blue band that we use and just doing different exercises like that.
And our arm band. So I think it's honestly just having a routine because it's not fun for either one of us, but it's kind of routine to go through our warm-up.
Yeah, what was the question again?
What do you do for a warm-up that ensures? So band work.
And we got all of that by working like with our PT. So I would maybe see about getting an appointment, kind of figuring out like what, so both of our issues have always been like glutes and shoulder stuff. So that's why in warm-ups, we do stuff to get the glutes and the shoulders firing. So maybe reach out to ATC or physio or even a chiropractor, just something like that, and work with them, I would say.
Why do you rub sand on your hands/legs while playing? Because the sweatiest part of my body are my forearms. And if I pass the ball, Kristen has to set it, and it is soaking wet.
And I will sometimes my legs are sweaty, and sometimes it's a receive, I'll like put my hands on my legs, so you may just slip off. So you gotta throw some sand on it. But that also, I mean, you'll see a lot of people doing that, just with the sweat. I mean, with the sweat.
And sweat is just
You just put sand and then you wipe it off, and it's like magic.
Yeah,
So
there it goes.
Your turn. Is it mine? Food and wellness. What a topic. What is your go-to breakfast on tourney day?
If I could choose, obviously it changes as you travel, but
For sure, eggs are involved.
yes.
We always eat
Toast with some avocado and some eggs and lots of water and a coffee.
I've been really big into the yogurt with granola.
I've been really big into cottage cheese as well.
But we
Back
don't get
home.
cottage cheese on the road. Come on, we never have that on tourney day because we don't have cottage
That's
cheese. No, but eggs, some basically protein.
Yeah, I'm always a savory breakfast.
It also fully depends on what time of day we play. But for sure, eggs, toast, probably avocado. Those are the key ones. What types of foods do you use to fuel yourself when playing in a tournament, and how far before a tournament do you start fueling? Oh, we in Brazil, before every single match, crushed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
It was like an hour and a half out from playing the match or the match starting. We had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, we just went to a local grocery store and bought peanut butter jelly, made our little sandwich in the hotel room. You have the waffle stingers, like
Oh,
into.
Sometimes if I'm like, oh, I need a little boost. Yeah,
I do
waffles.
I do bananas, but bananas don't work for you. So it really is, it's just trial.
But peanut butter and jelly, ooh, yum. I could eat one right now. They're so good. What a classic. How do you manage to stay healthy when you travel so much?
It's been hard. Vitamins. I don't know. I think both of us do a really good job when we can sleep, getting a lot of sleep. I love to be in bed by 9, maybe 10.
I feel like this year it's so weird. I feel like we've reversed roles.
Yes, it's sorry.
She has been sleeping so much, and
I finally figured it out.
And I wake up, and I'm just like, I can't. I go back to sleep.
I know what it's
Or
like.
I'm hungry, and I just sit there in bed and scroll my phone, and I'm like, please Taryn, wake up. Please Taryn, wake up. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just sleeping.
It is wonderful.
talked with our sports dietitian, and I added magnesium into my nightly routine with journaling and reading, and it's been amazing. So I don't know if that works for anybody else, but it's been fantastic.
Quick story, in Brazil, I think it was like, it may have been championship Sunday. She slept for so long, I was like, I need to go eat, I'm hungry. I walk downstairs, I fully eat my food, I walk back up into the room, Taryn hears me open the door and has like, fully freaks out, like in a panic, and is like, what's going on? It was like full on panic mode. And you were like that, you were bad that I left.
No, I was just like so frazzled, and I had no idea.
You had no idea
Almost
what time it was.
Yeah, you forget where you are, and you know, there's days where you wake up and you're like, what land am I in?
When we were,
Are you gonna talk about the Dubai one?
we were in Dubai yet again. Terry was just sleeping away, and
I don't even feel bad because that was me for
No,
3 years.
it was Doha. It was during the tournament. Sorry. I think I walked back into the room again. Taryn gets up and was like, "What shoes are you wearing?" She's like, "What?"
I think it was still sleeping.
Like, what a weird question.
Yeah.
Anyway, just fun road stories.
Next topic is the AVP. Oh, Kristen. What do you like most about the league?
I think it's kind of been fun that it really has challenged us to be better at short games.
Also,
Because
playing in shallow sand.
Oh, playing in shallow sand, for sure. But it's made us like work on things that are typically not our strong suit, which I feel like is kind of good. And there's been, in the first 3 tournaments of the year, I've like made comments at mid-match, like, oh, what, either like, thank goodness we're not playing in the league because we would have lost this game, or like, oh man, I kind of wish we were playing in the league right now because we're winning.
I genuinely like that you can plan your weekend and be like, oh,
We play at this time and this time. That's it.
It was also really nice, I feel like, Billy and Paul, just like kind of getting to be teammates with them. That was like the men's team that we probably knew the least bit about.
Yeah.
And now I like just saw Billy at the NCAA championships, like he's coaching Stanford, just getting to like catch up with him. I think that was pretty cool, just getting to know them more.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see who our guys team is.
What league city are you most excited to see on the list?
Oh, I feel like New York people have been really wanting an AVP to get back there. So I'm really expecting all the people out in New York to show up for those 2 league events out there. So yeah, I'd probably say New York. That'll be a fun one.
Is there more pressure when you know the tournament will be broadcast on CBS or the CW?
Oh,
Because we have a new deal.
I know. Let's go. Put us on TV.
Yeah, I just went to a wedding and half the people were from South Dakota and the other half were from Montana, Wyoming. Anyway, they're like, oh, so what are you doing? And I was like, we're still playing. And they're like, oh, you're playing already for what, the next Olympics? And I was like, no, there's still games going on. Everybody just thinks that we only play every 4 years. I'm like, everyone was asking what I was doing for the next 4 years, like what job I was going to do. And it really just is not a very well-known scene sport. So
to answer that question, I would say no. I feel like we go into it the same every single time.
I honestly don't think about like that.
If you were watching, or if you watch this later, tune in, CW, CBS, watch, grow the game.
Yeah. Indeed.
Anyway.
I'm going to take that soapbox. Favorite memory at Huntington Beach?
Oh, why am I?
I liked the USA College Beach.
Oh, wow.
That's what I remember for Huntington Beach. It was a week out here, and it was girls and boys from all the different colleges, and it was just like a really, really fun time to train all week, and then at the end we had a tournament.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
nice.
honestly, is it bad that my first thought was us losing the championship last year?
That was your favorite part?
No, that was the only thing that I could think about for
Favorite memory.
Huntington AVP.
It's favorite memory?
I know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's on the brain. I also just saw the video that was posted.
I did too.
So there's that.
Yeah, we see those.
Anyway, is it the next topic anyway? Next topic, international competition. That was aggressive, sorry. How well do you know other international teams you play against?
On a personal level, I would say a few, not very many, but I would go chat with absolutely anyone and everyone. It's just, people are on such a different level, and once you get to tournament time, you don't know where they are, if they want to be locked in, or if they're playing next, or at what their timeline is.
I feel like it's before tournament starts, it's definitely
It's
a little
fun,
more
and then the tournament
light.
starts and it's,
Yeah.
you don't.
Not necessarily, but it's definitely more chatty before the tournament starts. Yeah. Dying to know, will you be at the Beach Pro Tour Montreal event or Manhattan Beach Open?
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't you like to know our schedule just like we would like to know our schedule?
We know this one.
Yes.
We will be at MBO. We have to. Also, so sad that it is at the same time because Montreal is very close to us.
Yeah, and it's fun. I really like Montreal.
But no, MBO, we are very excited for this year, especially. But also anytime you get to compete for a spot on the pier, I feel like you just drop everything and do it. Last one. Are you coming to Adelaide, Australia to play FIVB in November? It says, please come with an exclamation point.
Well, great, because that's our top goal for the year.
That is,
You have to qualify. You
that
can't
is
just
World
sign up.
Championships for people who do not know.
But yes, that is top of the priority list.
Because World Championships happens every 2 years.
Last time it was in Mexico. It was really fun.
We also really like Australia.
Really fun.
And we've heard a lot of great things about Adelaide. So
yeah, a lot.
hopefully
Hopefully,
we'll be there.
that's our answer.
We want to be there too.
Looking back into the future, Christine.
Oh, gosh.
We do actually call each other Christine and Taryn sometimes. How old were you when you started playing volleyball?
Oh, I mean, I played like bounce ball. That was fun at good old Lakeshore Playground. But beach volleyball specifically started sophomore and mainly junior year of high school. So what is that? You're like 16, 15, something like that?
Freshman is 14.
Yeah. So definitely earlier than her, but still pretty late for being, that's my career, I guess.
Yeah. 2019. January of 2019 was the day I moved to LSU, and I didn't know a single person. I've never played beach volleyball before in my life.
Crazy where life takes you.
I just remember driving away crying from Creighton and then being like, what the heck did I sign up for? And then I was just all alone.
Then I met everyone. I'm glad you figured out where Louisiana is on the map.
I knew where Louisiana was. I didn't know where LSU was, like what city was. How did you know what college was right for you?
Oh, I mean, that's tough for me because one, growing up in Louisiana, LSU, that was it. We watched anything and everything LSU. So I always dreamed about honestly putting those 3 letters on the chest. And when that opportunity presented itself, I said yes quickly. Actually, I didn't fully know how you were supposed to commit. I thought the coaches asked, like, do you want to commit?
Kristen, do you take our offer? I would say yes.
I definitely thought that's what happened, which shows that I had no idea what I was doing.
Nobody does.
But I went on a visit, left the visit, and called Megan, and she was like, did you commit? And I was like, no, they didn't ask. They were like, no, you need to go tell them. So I immediately hung up the phone and called Russell Brock and committed. So yeah, that LSU was just kind of dream come true for me. The timing of it all worked out. So I'm a poor person to ask when it comes to like recruiting questions and everything, just because my story was very different than most.
Yeah, also, my recruiting is way different than it is now because you could get recruited at any age. Mine started when I was in 8th grade because there wasn't enough girls to play really. So I was on an 18s team since I was an 8th grader. I also happened to be very tall, which also helped in my recruiting process.
You're tall?
Yeah, a little bit. I forget about it, but I did not want to go visit Creighton at all. I wanted to go somewhere further. I wanted to go to Nebraska was my dream, or Wisconsin or Minnesota. And I stepped on the campus and I had a gut feeling and I had to be there and I wanted to commit right away. But my parents were like, no, you got to wait. You have to see other schools. And every single time I was comparing it back to Creighton. And that's kind of how I knew that I had to be there. Same thing happened with LSU. I got on campus. I was like, what is this? I just have to be here. I didn't even know where it was. That was Kristen, what she was alluding to earlier. I had no idea that LSU was in Baton Rouge. I thought it was in New Orleans. But after I took that visit, I was just comparing every other school to LSU. So I actually ended up only visiting one other school. And I was like, I just know I have to be here. So I canceled my other visits. And I was just very honest with the other coaches. I think that's also another key thing is tell the other coaches so that they can also move on. It's really hard, but it just makes you grow as a person. But yeah.
I feel like so you would say it really is just like a feeling. You get there and you're like, this is it.
But you compare everything else to them.
I said it before. I feel like it was good that imagine yourself if you got hurt or something, would you still want to be at that school?
Would you still love the school if you did not play volleyball there? I actually saw a girl on the train today. So I hope, if you're watching this, I hope you choose wisely.
Yeah, good luck.
Taryn, if you could go back in time when you were choosing indoor for the start of your college career, would you choose differently now? Absolutely not. I'm exactly where I need to be. I was exactly where I needed to be. Yeah.
Wow.
I loved Creighton and I needed to be there. Taryn, have you gotten used to the new last name?
I still haven't.
No, I was actually, somebody was like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, Taryn Brasher. I was like, I know my name. I just got married.
It really, whenever you get announced, I'm still like,
but it's so fun.
Wow.
I absolutely love it because, yeah, I do love sharing that with my husband. Kristen, will you also change your last name?
I will be changing my last name, so that will be another name.
Wait. Will you keep the TKM brand? Now you can answer.
That is by far the number one question that we've gotten, probably in all of questions. The plan right now is we're keeping
Taryn and Kristen Nuss. I just lost my last name.
For now, there may be a slight rebrand, but we'll see.
For TKN, we started as TKN.
TKN is always, those are our roots.
Yeah.
So we may mess around with some things, but we are TKN.
What are your biggest goals in volleyball, brand, and future involvement, not tournaments?
Wow.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah.
What are your biggest goals in volleyball?
Volleyball, I would say a gold medal in, I almost said Paris, in the LA 2028. That's probably at the highest for volleyball specific.
Brand and future involvement wise.
Brand. Ooh, I mean, I've always said I really want the team to take beach volleyball to a place it has never been. So I guess just people being more aware that beach volleyball
that it
exists.
Happen only 3 or 4 years.
And that you are watching it on TV, you know these athletes, and also more athletes in beach volleyball can make a living just by playing beach volleyball and have a solid income. It's not just like, oh, we're trying to get by. That annoys me so much about this sport.
Oh, no, this is how it's supposed to be. No, that's how it was. It can change.
In order to play this sport, it's not a lucrative thing. It's like there's no way to make money in it. I would love for that narrative to not be the narrative. So we're trying to change that.
Okay, These are rapid fire. This is the first thing that comes to mind. I love this with you. It is so fun.
Oh, gosh. I get so stressed doing these.
2 + 2.
4.
Good job.
5.
That wasn't actually it, obviously. Ready?
No, why do you get to ask me all of these?
Taryn. That means
Gosh.
I get to do it. Thanks, Molly. Kristen, where is your favorite place to play? Based on sand only.
Oh gosh. This is wild because this is like the best and worst place is Tepic. I thought the sand in Tepic, Mexico was incredible, but that's also where we thought we were going to die. So, wow.
I cannot even explain our first practice when we got to World Championships. Neither one of us, wait,
That wasn't
sorry.
World Championships.
I thought you were talking about Tlaxcala. You remember in that indoor
No.
thing?
Tlaxcala.
We both thought we were
No, that
going
wasn't
to-
Tlaxcala. That was Huamantla.
Okay, well, that's the same thing.
We were at very high altitude and
And we were like,
oh my gosh, and we were supposed to play in World Championships the next day. We were like, we can't even breathe. We couldn't pass set attack like 3 balls in a row without just like,
Die.
oh my gosh, we're
Yeah.
gonna die. That's the day before we were like, we are not celebrating at all. We will save all our oxygen for playing.
and then I got sick too.
Yeah, wow. Back to
my
this
gosh.
rapid fire question. The sand in Tepic, it wasn't
my gosh.
like it wasn't a lot of sand, but it was so deep. So we personally, me especially, I prefer very deep sand. It definitely helps for more of the shots and running down shots, whereas more of a shallow surface, it's just about who is more athletic and can hit the biggest angle. So yeah, Tepic comes to mind because that sand was incredible. It was very deep. I thought it was gonna like take us.
Kristen, what is your favorite memory as a team? Max 10 seconds.
Oh, I always go Uberlandia. Uberlandia, the first time, Elite 16, we got to top of the podium. That was just very, very memorable. That one will always stick in my head. Literally have that jersey framed with that gold medal. See it very often.
Mine was getting into
Yours is
our
cool
first
and Gata.
international event because we were going to have to play separately. And Kristen came into my room and she was like, you have to sign up with somebody else. I did.
But how do we not talk about that first game in Paris? Like that?
There's just a lot of them. The first game in Paris, I cannot even explain the nerves walking out of there. And then they stop and they're like, Team USA. And you're like, where are they? And it's like,
When
it's
all the
you.
lights shut off and the freaking Eiffel Tower just twinkled. Oh my gosh. I literally looked around that whole stadium and was like, for this.
Yeah.
And I do.
I do too. Yeah, that was cool. Did you read it?
I did not.
Okay. What is
like
the
a
most
long one.
random or hilarious thing that's ever happened during a match?
Oh gosh. The dog on the court in La Paz. We literally had to stop the game because the dog came.
There was a
on
wild
the court.
dog.
Yeah. Like just walked to the court and then just laid down and would not move.
And then somebody tried to pick him up and he was just like,
He
dead
kept
weight.
walking
So he
and then would just lay
yeah.
down. And then finally one of the line judges just picked him up.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good
That's
one.
good. Wait, what were you going to say?
Oh, mine was practice, not a tournament, when I was choking. You were cracking me up. No one even cared or knew that I was dying except for you. And I was laughing, couldn't even finish the point. I ran off the court. You were playing 1 against 2. I was cracking up on the side.
You choke on your gum?
Yeah, I went, and it went to the back of my throat, and I was like,
So for
Trying
more
to get it up.
context, we're in the middle of this. We're just having a fun game. This was one of we
practiced.
rarely just do random games. It was crazy windy. We were playing this game. Taryn dives for a ball. She's on the side and is literally choking. The other side has no idea what's happening, but all I hear is her choking.
so you're playing all by yourself. I'm on the side. Yeah, that was funny.
And I laughed hysterically
Yes.
at her choking.
And then you peed your pants.
No, I did. I will openly admit that I did pee my pants. The news is out. Thanks for outing me like
Well,
that.
I wasn't like, it's like a joke, like a Peter Pan, so you're laughing so hard.
I did.
You actually did.
I'm
But you
crying.
just
I'm
did
crying
it.
right now. Yeah, it was so. I really
Hey,
wish
we've all done it. We've all done it.
I wish everyone could have just heard the noises that were happening.
Are you glad that I was okay? Thank you for checking on me.
She was okay. I'm crying.
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Oh god.
Was there a culture shock moving from South Dakota to Louisiana? Yes. I remember calling my mom and I was like, I am in a different country down here. Everybody
It
does
was a
everything
culture shock
differently.
for me when I went there too.
Yeah.
We got to shag all the balls with all the flags and the roof. We don't call it a roof. It's a
They
roof.
call it an ambulance. Like, it's an ambulance. She said that one time. I paused everybody's entire lives that were around us. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? She's like, oh yeah, the ambulance. And I was like, no. That's not an ambulance. It's an ambulance.
But what do you? We got to get the bag
Big
ticks.
You don't even say it right.
Big ticks. Big, because I can't say it. I don't speak your language.
But Kristen came to South Dakota and we did a little camp and she was talking and she says y'all in every single sentence.
I say y'all about 3 times in every sentence.
And everybody was like, oh, who is this girl?
They were giving me weird looks. But then when you come to Louisiana, you're like, all right, everyone, shag the balls. Like,
They all give me weird looks. But it happens to me way more than it happened to you.
for sure. For sure.
Who is your favorite
It
player?
was also cold. I did get to go. You remember when I went outside your house when it was snowing?
It was not. You couldn't even say snow because you knew it wasn't snowing. It was the smallest of flurries, and she drove in snow.
I drove in snow. I did. No, I'm
And she
talking about
also
when I
sat in Chicago. We went to Chicago for one of my best friend's wedding, and there was a snowstorm. And she was like, these things come out on the streets, and they like clean the streets up. So she opens the blinds, sits the chair right up next to the window so that she could just watch the
snowplows.
The snowplows.
Look at me. Yeah, I know what's happening.
That was cute. Okay. Who is your favorite player or the toughest opponent?
Oh. Ooh.
Okay, so favorite player
Favorite player?
or toughest opponent.
Do you have an answer? I mean, I feel like, one, it's really hard to pick just one person.
Yeah, because you always see it as a team.
So I would say due to AP.
Oh,
I feel like that was.
I was thinking
always
AVP for some reason.
Oh.
I was only thinking AVP, but due to AP, great answer.
due to AP. I would say for me personally, Brandy is a large block. So,
She's also a large block for me as well. So, yeah.
wait, what was the first part of that?
It was who's your favorite player?
Favorite player. I loved watching Laura Ludwig. And the fact that we got to play against her in Hamburg, like hometown, that was a pretty cool experience. And just, she is like the coolest person. I don't know if I say this, but she called me a B word on the court in a joking way.
As a joke, yeah.
In a joking way, but it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and we all just cracked up laughing.
But that was
awesome.
literally like me. She was like my idol. Her and Misty May. That was like
Bantering with
who-
your idol as you're
Yeah.
playing. It was cool.
She called me a B because I hit a jump over. It was pretty fun.
Kristen, why don't you jump set?
Oh, yeah. She's not in the cards for me. You will
and
not
why
see
don't
that
you-
happen. I don't know.
you do
Now that
any
we're getting rid of
conditioning?
doubles, you never know. Oh my goodness. We actually don't do a ton of. I feel like our conditioning is built into
The drills.
the drills. Drew does a very good job of doing that. So thank you, Coach Drew. We appreciate you tremendously.
What do you think your coach would say about you?
Oh, that I need to get better at volleyball. That would actually be.
×2. That's what he would probably say.
Yep. No, I think he would also be very proud of what we've done. Yeah. So,
Hi, Drew, if you're watching. If you girls could try any other sports besides volleyball, what would you play?
I would really like to play tennis.
I think
I
I
think
say
it is-
swimming or gymnastics.
You say gymnastics.
But I just know that's very unrealistic. I tried
So
it.
if it was
really hard.
if it was something that you like actually had to, like, you obviously are not going to go be a gymnast.
Yeah. I do really enjoy swimming. I also, I would put swimming.
When have you gone swimming?
What?
When have you gone swimming?
I
Because last time I checked, I've never seen you do laps in a pool.
when was the last time we were at a pool, Kristen?
That's what I'm saying. I guess
fine.
when have I gone and played tennis? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is the best question. Whoever asked this, thank you.
Wait. Oh, never mind.
Are we going to see the closet makeover for Kristen?
We really need to do that.
I am all in.
Because I need it. I'm running out of room. I actually just had to buy a new little shoe thing. Just my shoes are all over the floor because there's no room.
And then guess what? I come and pick out things and you're like, that doesn't fit. Or
I know,
don't like
I
that,
gotta
or
get
this
it
isn't-
rid
I'm
of
like, then do it. We'll do it together. Whenever you invite me over with a cup of coffee.
I need a push. I need help.
You do.
You're always welcome for coffee. My couch, not this couch, which I really wish I could bring this couch home with me.
I want a personal invite.
A personal invite. Note it. I will personally invite you.
I want a note slid underneath my door.
Okay, now you're just getting too much because you're 150 steps away. That's too much.
49.
I can't walk that far. Anyway,
That is all we have for you.
Questions have been answered. We're done. Now it's time to compete.
Yes.
Huntington Beach AVP
Let's
tomorrow, noon Pacific time, 10 o'clock Central time. What?
Not 2.
2 o'clock Central time.
Okay.
No.
Wait.
Noon. We're ahead.
Which one?
It's 2. They're ahead.
It's 2.
They're ahead. Which is
Hey.
actually really funny that we just did this because my mom, when I was talking about this live stream, I was like, Mom, it's at 4 o'clock. And she was like, no, it's the other time. I was like, no, Mom, you're wrong. It's the other way. And I just did it. So.
And she's Audrey 2.0. Love you, Audrey.
Hi, Mom. Anyway, thank you again. Huge shout out to the Kimpton Shorebreak Resort for setting this all up
This place is
because
beautiful, right on the beach.
I wish we had this set up for every single Pristine Caffeine, but we don't. We just enjoy it on our couches. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. We appreciate it. I'm Christine.
I'm Taryn.
And this is Pristine Caffeine. And we're out. Why do I always feel